Baby boomers in Canada do not care about Gen Z. Not at all. What's going on? This is DA Born. Welcome to Born with Purpose. Like, share, and subscribe. I greatly appreciate it. I'm here in BC. Beautiful background guy here with my dog. But I want to talk about a chart that's going to show how baby boomers voted in the election along with other age groups. And I'm going to show you and tell you why baby boomers do not care about the next generation. They don't. You had the guy at the Liberal rally who showed up the two middle fingers, found out that he was a craft beer owner. And so, in other words, if he's a craft beer owner, he's successful, he's got money, he's thriving. He voted Liberal. I interviewed a lady who said she would die before she voted conservative. That clip is approaching 1 million views on Instagram, and it hit about 500,000 on TikTok. These are baby boomers who are loyal to Liberal, and Liberal want a minority government. And it's interesting to see why they voted Liberal once again and the reasons. I'm going to put a chart up, and it's very alarming to me why these people voted, why baby boomers voted. And when I say this, and I'm not going to put all baby boomers in one category because there are some boomers that voted conservative, but many, I'd say more than half of baby boomers vote Liberal. And I believe, well, let's get to the chart. I'm going to show this chart. So check this out. You see the blue? The blue represents those who are 21 and under, and the red represents those who are 60 and above. All right. So check these stats out. All right. The first one here is reducing cost of living. Now you see, and the ones in the middle are obviously Gen X and millennials, right? When it comes to reducing cost of living, baby boomers were last of the age groups that voted for this reason. So reducing cost of living wasn't big on their concern. But check out the next track. Check out the next chart. Donald Trump. Voting for Donald Trump. And that was baby boomers' number one concern for voting in the election by far. By far. Gen Zs did not care about Donald Trump. So you mean to tell me this? That your concern for voting Liberal, voting in this country, was not the economy, not affordable house of living, but your number one reason was for a guy in his 70s running as the president of the United States, not the prime minister of Canada. He is number one on your mind for voting in this election. Trump is living rent-free in your head, and he doesn't even live in this country. Now, if that's not Trump derangement syndrome, I don't know what it is. Let's move on. I'll get back to that. So the next category, making housing more affordable. This is a concern that many of us face. Many want us to be able to afford a home, but not baby boomers. They were last when it came to voting on this, by far. They don't care whether housing is more affordable. Let me drop this stat on you right now. 40% of homeowners in Canada, 40%, that's almost half, are baby boomers. 40% of the homes in Canada are owned by people who are over 60 years old. What does that say? That says that over half own a home. Baby boomers don't care about making housing more affordable because they already own a home. It's already paid off. They have investments. They're good. They're chilling. They don't have a mortgage payment, or if they do, it's almost paid off. So they're good, but they don't care about their children or their grandchildren who can't even afford a down payment to live in a home. Baby boomers grew up in an era, a blessed era, where when they turned 18 years old, they were able to move out, get a job. Some went to college, but you didn't have to. You got a job, and you bought a house. House was affordable. Down payment was next to, you didn't have to save very long to get it. And you got a home. How wonderful. Those days are gone. And I just remember the Bible verse says, a good man leaves an inheritance for his children's children. That meaning grandchildren. So you got boomers who have grandchildren, but they don't care about whether they're able to afford a home. Like, I can't lie. I'm just gonna say it. That's selfish. That's selfish. So you're gonna go vote in an election because of Donald J. Trump, who doesn't live in this country. Because you watch CNN and Fox News and CTV and Global and ABC and The View and all that stuff, who talk about Trump every day and how terrible he is. And it gets in your head, and it gets in your head. And then you watch the Canadian news, and it gets more in your head because you're wondering how Trump is going to affect everything here. But really, whatever Trump does, tariffs and all that stuff, does it really have an effect on you? You already own your house, right? You should be more concerned about the Gen Z, the ones who can't afford to live in a home. Be concerned about the current, even the Gen X's, the millennials who can't afford a home. But no, you got a home, so you're good. I'm just going to vote whoever can deal with Donald Trump because I don't like Trump. But he's in another country. All right, let me put this chart back up. Improving healthcare system. Yeah, that was high on boomers, and that's understandable. And then there's the last two charts: protecting public services, managing the federal budget. They were both first on boomers thing, and those are understandable. But the whole making housing more affordable, they don't give a crap about. Reducing cost of living, they don't care about. You know? And another category on here, making Canada a better place to live. They were last by far. They did not care. But the Gen Zs care because they realize they're in their 20s. They're here in either beautiful BC or Ontario, Saskatchewan, Alberta, all these provinces. They see successful people, but they also see struggling people. And they don't want to be someone who's struggling. Not every Gen Z person can do creative content or be in front of a mic. Some of them just want to be regular workers. They want to get a trade. They want to do a solid job 9 to 5 and be able to go home to a comfortable home, be able to pay a mortgage, be able to pay get other expenses, be able to travel on vacation time and do all these things and live comfortably. And why not? You know, we're all born with purpose. We all want to succeed, because if we can't succeed, how can we help others out? But when you vote for a party that's more concerned about turning Canada into communism, where we're dependent on the government for everything, this is what we're leading towards. And when they put these programs for us, they may be great and all, but it means more taxes coming off the paycheck, and less money in your wallet, less money in your bank accounts, less money to invest if you can afford to invest. Realize this, most Canadians, a lot of Canadians are one paycheck away from being homeless. That's how bad it is right now. But no, you got baby boomers who are good. Even though they are on their pension, they might not have a lot of pension, they have their homes and they're chilling. And they're voting liberal, not thinking about the Gen Z, the millennials, and even a lot of Gen X's who can't afford to live in this country, even though they love it so much. Anyway, those are my thoughts. I want to know what you think of this chart. What stood out to you in this chart? I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm here in beautiful BC. I hope you enjoyed. This is my my dog, and you know, I don't bring him on very much, but I didn't want to let him loose while I was doing this video. But hey, if you like the dog, if you like what I'm talking about, be sure to hit the like button, share the video, subscribe to Born with Purpose, and until next time, I'm out. God bless. Peace.